So, welcome back to Coach's Corner, and as you gathered from the introduction, this episode is really just kind of a spur of the moment discussion about what markets, free markets, should look like ideally, and some of the things that they can bring about in terms of the positive for both the consumer and the seller, I guess. I don't love using that word exactly, but that's okay. We can run with it. So, what do Rand Paul and Jock Peterson have in common? As you gathered from the introduction, the part about Rand Paul is pretty self-explanatory for anybody that's willing to go and actually look up this information. That the fact that he visited another country that runs a single-payer socialized medicinal system is utterly irrelevant when you consider the fact that he actually went to a private facility that runs on a for-profit basis. That's exactly what a free and open market should look like. Consumers should go where they want, to the people they want, to get the goods and services they want or need. Okay. How that relates to Jock Peterson, I think, is I don't know how most people think about this in baseball terms, but I live in amongst a lot of Braves fans, okay, and the rumor on the street is that Jock Peterson could either be traded to or signed, I'm not exactly sure, I haven't followed along, I'm not a Braves fan, with the Braves at any point in the next few days. Now, I've looked up some information about Jock Peterson and his yearly contract. Last year, he signed a one-year deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers that was worth $5 million. Now, when you compare, that sounds like a lot of money. When you compare that to some other players and their salaries, he's actually a pretty inexpensive player for the numbers that you're going to get. There's another discussion of a market function. You analyze the statistical value of any given asset, commodity, what have you, and compare it to other resources and how expensive or a lack of abundance, scarcity, what those resources and those situations entail. Anyways, Homer Bailey comes to mind, a pitcher that's, by Major League standards, is one of the worst in the league, and I think he makes a little over $11 million and doesn't even typically pitch a full season. So, forget about the comparative advantage of the salary for just a second, though, in terms of Jock Peterson going to the Braves specifically. All right, if I were in the Braves organization, I would view that $5 million contract of Jock Peterson's in an even greater light because of the fact that any baseball fan can tell you, and if they keep up with the sport, Jock Peterson, being a left-handed hitter, has had some previous struggles against left-handed pitching, but he kills right-handed pitching. He has a high walk rate and a high home run rate against right-handed pitching in particular. Those numbers are miserable, just to be quite honest with you, at first glance in regards to left-handed pitching. But think about this, okay? The Braves division has virtually no outstanding left-handed pitching. The Washington Nationals, top 4 or maybe even 5, since Gio Gonzalez is gone, are all right-handed pitchers. The Florida Marlins have no outstanding pitchers at all, Miami Marlins, excuse me, and they're mostly a heavily right-handed rotation pitching staff. New York Mets, Noah Syndergaard and Jacob deGrom, as good as they are, right-handed pitchers. Jason Vargas is not going to give a guy like Jock Peterson as much trouble as a hard-throwing lefty because he's a soft tosser. He's a spot kind of thrower. Jock Peterson would have no trouble handing a mid-80s two-seam fastball from Vargas, so that shouldn't enter the equation. And then the Phillies, the top 2 guys, the 1 and 2 for the Phillies, are right-handed guys, hard throwers. The conference, the league, the division, has no meaningful left-handed pitching available to give him troubles. You give him a full year of 150 games with facing that much right-handed pitching, and to me, his contract becomes even more valuable. And if I'm the Braves, that's an expansion of a market, not a contraction, because of the fact that it's a better suited market for Jock Pederson, the individual player. They could maximize his potential if they gave him a full season's worth of games, in my personal opinion, and it would be well worth the expenditure within their market. And that's what's important about understanding markets, is that they can be different phenomenons for different people. There's no reason to curtail people into any one singular network or market, be it baseball or healthcare. You're limiting your options, and limiting your options typically doesn't have very positive results for humans, not for the buyer, not for the seller. Okay? I hope this has been an enjoyable conversation, and again, spread the word, tell your friends, subscribe. Thank you. Have a great day.